Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day from the Wildwood Tarot deck is Tradition. Tradition, as Tevye would say from Fiddler on a Roof. Tradition. It's a reverence for past lore and past wisdom, and if we look at how traditions are started, usually there's some sort of sacrifice going on. In this card, it doesn't show the sacrifice, but it does show the traditional things that these guys would hang on to and pass on to their children. Maybe at the beginning of the year, or at Christmas time, or some type of lore that they could pass on to the children and to the tribe. A lot of times it's related to ancient knowledge, and they pass this on to other members and rituals. I know when I was growing up, one of the traditions at Christmas time was to take a manna wafer, that my grandmother would get from church or whatnot, and we would each break it off, and we'd say to grandma that new life, new blessings, things of that nature, to move forward. Lots of traditions, there's food traditions at holiday times, and family traditions along the way, and how you celebrate all the different holidays throughout the world. And it's great to pass on those memories to those that are younger, because what it shows the time when they were growing up, as it was passed on, and passed down through the years. So by seeking out that spirit in reverence and respect, what happens is we gain insight and wisdom. All right. The way I see this card is, this is either in the morning coming up over the stones, or it's at night, with that full moon. But, we try to touch spirit and ask us to give us that insight, give us that wisdom. And, in a lot of cases for me, when I meditate, I reach out to spirit, I reach out to the universe. I talk with my, loved ones that have, traveled to the other side, and, ask them for guidance. And, both my grandmothers and my grandfathers and my father, and I have daily conversations with them, when I meditate, and asking them for that insight and wisdom to, to continue to grow, to help with issues, things of that nature. And, just because they're not with us anymore, and, they're in a better place, doesn't mean that, they don't, they want to have, well wishes for you and everything to go right. So, your guardian spirits, however you look at that, your ancestral spirits, as an aunt once told me, know all your dead people, okay, and know your great grandfathers and your aunts and your uncles, because you never know, who can come visit you. The traditions passed on over their lifetimes and in our lifetimes, remain in our being, and it's up to us to pass that lore on to others. It's up to us to shake that rattle and wear that elk headdress, and just at the beginning of the new year, just wish others well, or throughout the day wish others well. But it's focusing and listening to what spirit has to say. Okay, taking that time out during the day to actually hear, what it is they're saying to you. And sometimes you may hear that voice. Sometimes you may see that person or catch a scent of, a perfume or a fragrance or an aftershave. Okay, they let you know when they're hearing you. They let you know, when they're near you. And just having that still knowing, okay, that confidence in saying, my dad was here today. I know he was talking to me because, you know, I could smell that aftershave that he had used all that time. All right. By talking with spirit and understanding, you know, the spirit world, we can get a better understanding of what it is we need to take out of the day and move forward. What this does is this helps us stay connected with our lineage, helps us stay connected with, you know, those who moved on, you know, to the afterlife. And it doesn't mean you can't, you know, you need to still stay connected with, you know, those that are in your life as well, those that, you know, are in the present day. You know, talk with them, you know, understand, you know, if it's still a grandmother or something like that, understand what those traditions were. Why did, you know, certain things get done the way where they were done? And, you know, try to pass that lore on. Nine of Stones, you're almost to that completion point, okay? By holding on to those traditions, okay, you can kind of, you know, construct things to bring family together, you know, to bring your loved ones together, you know, and you can use this in a, you know, the family can also be a workplace. You know, what are some of the traditions that, you know, you do through the work week? You know, whether it's, you know, morning meetings or morning rituals or, you know, have to do a lineup or something of that nature, you know, to get that information. It's all about, you know, retrieving some of that lore, retrieving some of that knowledge. So there's, you know, a familial gathering or aspect. You know, when I think about this from my vantage point, when I see this card come out, it's not necessarily a day-to-day looking at the traditional aspect. To me, it's more of reconnecting with loved ones that have moved on, reconnecting with you know, my soul family, things of that nature. Because what'll happen is that brings in light, okay, and it brings in richness to my life. So that's kind of how I look at it. I kind of remember even the pets when I had growing up. You know, remembering the joy and, you know, the delight that they brought me, you know, and keeping me safe possibly, you know, with comfort or, you know, however you want to look at that. But, you know, they're always with you. Your spirit guides are always with you. Your spirits are always with you, both in the pets, you know, as well as in the human. And draw on the strength of those traditions to help you gain wisdom. You know, when I watch The Fiddler on the Roof and Tevye comes out and he says tradition, you know, he's looking at the change that's going on in the world that he was living in, okay? And who's going to continue with tradition? Who's going to continue moving it forward? Who's going to continue the tradition of the old ways while the new world is changing? And sometimes that's a very difficult concept to, you know, to take on, because, you know, every day the world changes. Every day something changes in your life, okay? But it's through the traditions of, you know, remembering those that have passed on, remembering the past, okay, and staying true to the past, staying true to your values, that keeps us moving forward into that change of unknowingness. So I hope you enjoyed today's tarot card of the day. This is Dee from the Spirit's Path, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. And tradition, tradition.